Case 1. Cherry Mahan. It's 4:05 p.m. on February 22, 1985. A school bus rolls to a stop on Cornplanter Road in Winfield Township, Pennsylvania. The door swings open. An 8-year-old girl named Cherry Mahan steps off, backpack on, heading home. Her house is less than 150 yards up the driveway. A straight shot. A walk she'd done before. She passes a van, a bluish-green Dodge, older model, with a mural painted on the side. A snow-capped mountain. A skier mid-slope. Unusual enough that people remembered it. Debbie Burke was parked nearby. She watched Cherry step off that bus. She saw her walk past that van, and then nothing. Cherry just wasn't there anymore. 10 minutes later, her stepfather Leroy McKinney noticed she hadn't come through the door. He went outside to check. The driveway was quiet. Then he looked for footprints in the snow. There were none leading up toward the house, but roughly 50 yards from the front door, there were tire impressions pressed into the ground, fresh ones. When bloodhounds arrived, they tracked Cherry's scent from the bus stop and lost it exactly where that van had been parked. That was it. That was the entire trail. Pennsylvania State Police launched one of the largest searches in the region's history. 250 volunteers, grid searches, door-to-door canvassing. The mural van became the center of everything. Investigators believed whoever drove it had taken Cherry. Sketches were distributed. Tips came in from across the state. The van was never found. In May 1985, and Cherry became the first child ever featured on the NCMEC Have You Seen Me postcards, those cards that started showing up in mailboxes across America. Her face was one of the first. The years passed. No arrests, no van, no answers. In 1998, Cherry was legally declared dead. In 2011, a tip pointed to specific individuals and suggested she had not survived. In 2014, a Michigan woman came forward claiming to be Cherry. DNA testing ruled her out. The case went cold, but it didn't stay that way. Before we go any further, if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button right now. These cases don't get told like this anywhere else. Stay with me. In October 2025, the FBI and Pennsylvania State Police conducted a formal excavation at a property on River Road in South Buffalo Township, Armstrong County, roughly 10 miles from where Cherry disappeared. The dig was driven by new leads, including the work of private investigator Steve Ridge, who has put up a $100,000 personal reward for information. Ridge has flagged Cherry's blue backpack as a critical piece of evidence, theorizing it may have been disposed of in a nearby body of water. At the same time, a Pennsylvania prison inmate, currently serving time for unrelated offenses, began sending letters to Cherry's mother, Janice McKinney, and to Pittsburgh news station WPXY. In those letters, he claims members of his own family were responsible for Cherry's disappearance. When Janice traveled to the prison to meet him face-to-face in early 2026, he refused to see her. Investigators are still vetting the details in those letters. Then, whilst on the 41st anniversary of Cherry's disappearance, February 22, 2026, Janice made a statement that shifted the entire frame of the case. She said she now believes the perpetrator was someone local. And she said the mural van, the image that defined this case for 4 decades, may have been a red herring all along. What she's focused on now is a blue sedan that was seen in the area that day. 41 years, a van that was never found, a backpack that may be at the bottom of a river, and a mother who is still looking. Where are you watching from right now? Drop your city or state in the comments. I want to know. The next case didn't just shake one family. It changed the laws of an entire country. A 6-year-old boy, half a block from his bus stop, and a confession that took 33 years to get, only to be thrown out by a federal court last year. Case 2. Etan Patz, May 25, 1979, Soho, Manhattan. Julie Patz stood at the window of her loft at 113 Prince Street and watched her son walk down the block. It was the first day she'd allowed him to walk to the bus stop alone. He was 6 years old. The stop was half a block away. She watched him cross Prince Street, and then she went back inside. Etan Patz never made it to that bus stop. He was wearing a black Future Captain pilot's cap, a blue corduroy jacket, blue jeans, and blue sneakers. He was carrying a blue elephant print tote bag. Inside it, toy cars and a dollar bill his parents had given him to buy a soda. A neighborhood woman and a mailman both saw him at the corner of West Broadway and Prince Street. After that, nothing. His teacher noticed he wasn't in class that morning. She didn't report it. The school assumed he was sick. The Patz family didn't know he was missing until 3:15 p.m. when he failed to come home from school. The search that followed was massive, but Etan was never found. The impact of his disappearance reshaped child safety in America. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan designated May 25th as National Missing Children's Day. Etan became the first child featured on milk cartons distributed nationally. His case directly led to the creation of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in 1984. For years, the primary suspect was Jose Antonio Ramos, a convicted child offender with a documented history. In 1988, Ramos admitted to taking a boy home on the day Etan disappeared, but was never criminally charged. The Patz family sued him in civil court and won a $2 million judgment in 2004. But the criminal case broke open differently. If this case is hitting different, share this video. Someone in your circle needs to hear these stories. It takes 2 seconds. In May 2012, Pedro Hernandez, a former clerk at a bodega on West Broadway, was arrested after his brother-in-law contacted police. Hernandez confessed. He said he lured Etan into the basement of the store, strangled him, and placed his body in a box that was put out with the trash. A 2015 trial ended in a hung jury. One juror refused to convict. A retrial in 2017 resulted in a guilty verdict. Hernandez was convicted of kidnapping and murder. It felt, finally, like the case was closed. It wasn't. On July 21, 2025, a federal appeals court overturned Hernandez's conviction, but the ruling stated that the trial judge had given manifestly prejudicial instructions to the jury, specifically regarding how they should weigh Hernandez's mental health history and the reliability of his confession. The conviction was thrown out. On November 25, 2025, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg announced a third trial. Jury selection is mandated to begin no later than June 1, 2026. Prosecutors are simultaneously petitioning the U.S. Supreme Court to reinstate the 2017 verdict. Etan's body has never been recovered. He would be 52 years old. What time is it where you are right now? Drop it in the comments. The next case starts before sunrise. A 12-year-old boy, a red wagon, and a paper route he'd run dozens of times. His dog came home. He didn't, and what his mother claims happened 15 years later is one of the most debated moments in the history of true crime. Case 3. Johnny Gosch, September 5, 1982. West Des Moines, Iowa. 5:45 in the morning. Johnny Gosch grabbed his wagon and headed out to deliver papers. Still dark outside. Quiet neighborhood. He'd done this route before, knew every street, every porch. His dog, Gretchen, went with him. At the drop point on 42nd Street in Mark Court, other carriers saw him. Everything looked normal. Then, 2 witnesses, Mike and John Rossi, spotted Johnny talking to a man near a blue and silver 2-toned Ford Fairmont. The man was stocky. The conversation didn't look right. That was the last confirmed sighting of Johnny Gosch. At 7:45 a.m., his father, John Sr., went looking for him. He found the red wagon 2 blocks from home, still full of undelivered papers. Gretchen had already come back to the house, alone. When John Sr. contacted the West Des Moines police, The response was something that would define the failures of that era. Chief Orville Cooney's department classified Johnny as a runaway. They refused FBI assistance. Iowa law at the time required a 72-hour waiting period before a missing person case could be formally opened. A 12-year-old boy last seen talking to a stranger at dawn, and the official position was, wait 3 days. Johnny's mother, Noreen Gosch, did not wait. Stay with me, because what Noreen claims happened in 1997 is one of the most debated moments in true crime history. You need to hear this. Noreen became one of the most relentless advocates in the history of missing children cases. She wrote, "Why Johnny Can't Come Home." She lobbied the Iowa legislature directly, and on July 1, 1984, the Johnny Gosch bill took effect, mandating immediate police action when a child goes missing. No more waiting periods. Johnny's case is often mentioned alongside two other Des Moines Register paperboys, Eugene Martin, who disappeared in 1984, and Mark Allen, who vanished in 1986. The similarities are striking. But investigators have never established a confirmed physical link between the three cases. Johnny and Eugene were the first missing children to appear on local milk cartons in Iowa. Then came 1997. Noreen Gosch has stated publicly that in March of that year, a man came to her apartment in the middle of the night. She says he identified himself as Johnny, now 27 years old, and proved it by showing her a birthmark she recognized. He told her he had been trafficked, that he was part of a network, and that she could not contact police. He was accompanied by another man who stayed near the door. He left, and he never came back. John Gosch Sr. has remained openly skeptical of this account. No law enforcement agency has been able to verify it. No arrests have ever been made in connection with Johnny's disappearance. Johnny Gosch would be 55 years old. What's the weather like where you are today? Drop it below. I'm curious. A 9-year-old girl, a thunderstorm at 3 in the morning, a highway with no streetlights. She packed a bag, walked out of her house, and ran from the one person who tried to help her. For 24 years, no one knew why, and then DNA changed everything. Case 4. Asha Degree, 3 a.m., February 14, 2000, Shelby, North Carolina. Outside, a thunderstorm is tearing through the county, rain hammering the roads, wind pushing hard against the trees. Inside a quiet house on Oakcrest Drive, 2 parents are asleep. Their 9-year-old daughter, Asha Degree, is awake. At some point between 2:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning, Asha got up, packed a book bag, and walked out the front door. No coat, no explanation. Into the storm. 2 separate motorists spotted her walking south along Highway 18, alone, in the dark, in the rain. One of them turned around, concerned, wanting to check on her. The moment Asha saw the headlights swinging back in her direction, she ran, straight into the woods. Gone! The next morning, her family realized she was missing. A search of the area turned up her belongings inside a nearby shed, some of her things left behind. That was strange enough. But what investigators found 14 months later was something else entirely. On August 3, 2001, a construction crew working off Highway 18 in Burke County, 26 miles north of Asha's home, in the opposite direction from where she had been walking, found a backpack buried in the ground, double-bagged in plastic, deliberately concealed. Inside, a Dr. Seuss book called McElligot's Pool and a New Kids on the Block t-shirt. Neither item belonged to Asha. Neither had ever been in her home. Someone had buried that bag. Someone who knew it was connected to her. For 24 years, the case sat with no confirmed suspect, no motive, no answer to the most basic question. Why did a 9-year-old girl leave her house in the middle of a thunderstorm? Then, in 2024, investigative genetic genealogy gave investigators something they had never had before. DNA recovered from Asha's undershirt and from inside the backpack was run through genealogy databases. The results pointed to a family, the dead man's. In September 2024, the FBI and the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office executed search warrants at multiple properties connected to the dead man family. The case was officially reclassified as a homicide. Court documents identified 3 key figures: Roy Lee Dedman, the patriarch; his daughters, Lizzie Dedman Foster and Sarah Dedman Cable. In February 2025, Lizzie reportedly failed a polygraph examination. Investigators had also learned that years earlier, she had allegedly told someone privately that she was responsible for an accident that was covered up. Sarah Cable reportedly drove a green AMC Rambler, a vehicle that matched descriptions given by early witnesses in the area. In April 2025, investigators conducted additional searches in Lincoln County. As of May 2026, no charges have been filed. But the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office has called this the most active child cold case in North Carolina. Asha Degree would be 35 years old. The next case takes place inside a school on a day that was supposed to be a celebration, a science fair, a proud stepmother. A photo taken at 8:45 in the morning, and a 90-minute window that has never been explained. Case 5. Kyron Horman. June 4, 2010, Skyline Elementary School, Portland, Oregon. It was Science Fair Day. The 7-year-old Kyron Horman had been working on his project for weeks, a display about red-eyed tree frogs. His stepmother, Terry Moulton Horman, brought him to school that morning and walked him inside. At 8:45 a.m., she took a photo of him standing in front of his project. He was smiling. She later told investigators she watched him walk toward his classroom. Then she left. Kyron never made it to class. His teacher assumed he had a doctor's appointment, a reasonable guess on a busy school day. No one flagged his absence. At 3:30 p.m., Kyron wasn't on the bus. His father, Kyron Horman, was called. Within hours, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office opened a missing child investigation. The search that followed became the largest in Oregon's history, costing $1.4 million, involving hundreds of searchers across multiple counties. No physical trace of Kyron was ever found. Attention turned quickly to Terry. Her timeline had a gap. Between 10:10 a.m. and 11:39 a.m., roughly 90 minutes, Terry claimed she had been driving her infant daughter around to soothe an earache. Cell phone records told a different story. Tower data reportedly placed her near Highway 30, which was inconsistent with the route she described. Then, in late June 2010, a landscaper named Rodolfo Sanchez came forward with a serious allegation. He told investigators that months before Kyron disappeared, Terry had approached him and offered him money to kill Kyron Horman. Police set up a sting operation. It produced no usable evidence. Terry Horman has never been charged. She has maintained her innocence. Kyron Horman divorced her in 2010. And a restraining order was issued preventing her from contacting him or their daughter. The case has never been closed. In May 2025, Multnomah County District Attorney Nathan Vasquez announced an exhaustive review of the entire investigation. For the first time, thousands of pages of physical case files have been fully digitized. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit has been brought in to construct new behavioral profiles based on the circumstances of Kyron's disappearance. A $50,000 reward remains active. No arrests have ever been made. Kyron Horman would be 22 years old. What you're about to hear next is one of the most chilling surveillance contradictions in the history of missing children cases. A mother walked into a shopping mall and told police her 4-year-old son wandered off inside. There were 12 security cameras covering that mall. Not one of them ever showed that child. Case 6, Dwan Sims. Sunday, December 11th, 1994. Wonderland Mall, Livonia, Michigan. Dana Harris, later Dana Wiggins, told police she had brought her 4-year-old son, Dwan Christian Sims, to the mall for Christmas shopping. She said they arrived at 1:45 p.m. She said he wandered away from her at around 2:30 p.m. She said she couldn't find him. Mall security was notified. Police responded. A search of the entire facility turned up nothing. Then, investigators pulled the surveillance footage. Wonderland Mall had 12 security cameras in operation that day, covering entrances, corridors, and common areas. Investigators reviewed every frame. Dana Harris appeared on camera. She was there, but Dwan was not. Not at any entrance, not in any corridor, not standing beside her, not anywhere in that mall. There was more. Witnesses who had been at the mall that afternoon told police they saw Dana arrive, alone, at approximately 3:30 p.m., not 1:45, not with a child, alone at 3:30. On December 21, 1994, Lieutenant Pete Kunst of the Livonia Police Department made a public statement that cut straight to it. Dwan Sims was never at that mall. Dana Harris failed 2 separate polygraph examinations. In 1995, a grand jury was convened. After that, she stopped cooperating with investigators entirely. The question was no longer where Dwan had gone inside the mall. The question was what had happened to him before Dana ever arrived there. In 2019, a man named Mike Cash publicly claimed to be Dwan Sims, alive with a different identity. Investigators took the claim seriously enough to test it. Thus, in 2021, DNA results came back. He was not Dwan. On December 7, 2020, Dana Wiggins died. Whatever she knew about what happened to her son, she took it with her. In December 2024, on the 30th anniversary of Dwan's disappearance, Livonia police issued a statement reaffirming their position. Dana Wiggins remained the sole suspect, and whatever happened to Dwan Sims happened before she walked through those mall doors. Dwan would be 35 years old. These cases don't just disappear from the headlines, they disappear from memory. That's why this channel exists. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. And if you know someone who needs to hear these stories, send them this video. Which of these cases has hit you the hardest so far? Case 4, 5, or 6? Tell me in the comments. Melbourne, Australia. A 13-year-old girl. Now it's a 7-minute walk to school. A witness who saw her just 130 meters from the gate. And then, nothing. The school waited 7 hours before calling her parents. By then, she was already gone. Case 7. Syria Siriboon. June 2, 2011. Boronia, Melbourne, Australia. 8:55 in the morning. A witness saw 13-year-old Syria Siriboon, known to everyone who loved her as Bung, walking along Harcourt Road. She was 130 meters from the front gate of Boronia Heights College, a 7-minute walk from her home on Elsie Street, a route she knew, a morning like any other. She never walked through that gate. Bung was a student with a perfect attendance record. When she didn't show up to class that morning, her teachers assumed she was sick. No one called her parents. No one checked. The school went through the entire day, 7 full hours, before her family was notified that she hadn't been seen since that morning. 7 hours. By the time her parents knew something was wrong, the trail was already cold. Victoria Police launched an investigation. Investigators canvassed the neighborhood, retraced her route, and interviewed everyone who may have seen her that morning. What they had was thin. One witness sighting, 130 meters short of safety, and nothing after that. The case sat without a strong public lead for 5 years. Then, in 2016, Victoria Police released something that shifted the investigation. Surveillance images captured a white 1971 to 1973 Holden HQ Kingswood station wagon in the Boronia area on the morning Bung disappeared. The driver was described as a Caucasian male, somewhere in his 30s or 40s, with full-sleeve tattoos and a tattoo on his neck. A girl of Asian appearance was seen in the passenger seat of that vehicle. Neither the car nor the man has ever been identified. Neither has been found. A reward of $1 million Australian dollars is currently on offer for information leading to answers in this case. It is one of the largest rewards ever offered in a Victorian missing persons investigation. In May 2024, Bung's mother, Vanita Siran, passed away from lymphoma. She spent 13 years waiting for an answer that never came. She died without knowing what happened to her daughter. The Victoria Police Homicide Squad continues to treat this case as an active abduction and murder investigation. The white Kingswood, the tattooed driver, and whoever placed that girl in the passenger seat that morning remain unidentified. Mia Bung would be 27 years old. The next case goes back to 1983. A family picnic in the mountains of Montana, a 4-year-old girl playing near a creek. And the last thing she said to another child before she walked into the trees, words that have stayed with investigators for over 40 years. Case 8. Nileen Marshall, June 25, 1983. Helena National Forest, Montana. The Marshall family was at a picnic near a creek in the Elkhorn Mountains. 4-year-old Nileen K. Marshall was playing with other children in the area, running around, doing what kids do at a summer outing in the woods. At some point, a man in a blue and purple jogging suit approached her. Other children saw him talking to her. One boy, who was nearby, later told investigators what Nileen said to him in those final moments. She looked at the man, then turned to the boy and said, "That man wants me to follow the shadow." Then she walked into the trees. The man followed close behind her. She was never seen again. The search that followed was one of the largest ever mounted in Jefferson County. Over 2,800 volunteers combed the Elkhorn Mountains for 10 days. Tracking dogs picked up Nileen's scent and followed it until they reached the edge of the creek. There, the scent ended completely. Investigators concluded she had likely been picked up at that point, either carried or placed into a vehicle that accessed the area from the water's edge. No physical trace of Nileen was ever found. 3 years later, in 1986, letters began arriving at the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, typewritten, postmarked from Madison, Wisconsin. And the writer referred to a girl named Kay, Nileen's middle name, not widely publicized, and claimed to be traveling with her. The letters were specific enough to be taken seriously. Investigators traced the calls connected to the correspondence to public phone booths, and the trail went cold every time. No one was ever identified. No one was ever charged. In 1995, Nileen's mother, Nancy Marshall, was found dead in a hotel room in Mexico City. The circumstances were unusual enough to draw attention, but Mexican authorities and U.S. investigators do not connect her death to Nileen's disappearance. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office still receives roughly 10 tips per year on this case. Everyone is followed up. Nileen Marshall would be 47 years old. Case 9. Danette and Jeanette Milbrook, March 18, 1990. Augusta, Georgia, 4:30 in the afternoon. And Danette and Jeanette Milbrook, 15-year-old fraternal twins, were last seen at the Pump and Shop gas station. Earlier that same day, they had told people that a man in a van had been following them. They were scared. They said it more than once. By the end of that day, both of them were gone. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office assigned an investigator to the case. That investigator classified Danette and Jeanette as runaways. No search was conducted, no canvass, no urgency. 2 teenage girls who had reported being followed by a man in a van, and the official response was that they had simply left on their own. It got worse. In 1991, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received a report, false and never verified, stating that the Milbrook twins had been found. Based on that report, an NCMEC removed Danette and Jeanette from the National Missing Persons database. They were gone from the system entirely. For 22 years, anyone searching for them at the national level would have found nothing. The original case file from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office was lost. It wasn't until 2013 that Sheriff Richard Roundtree reopened the investigation and began rebuilding the case from scratch. For the first time, the twins' disappearance was treated as what it likely always was, a criminal case, not a runaway situation. For years, A man named Joseph Patrick Washington had been considered a person of interest, but the case lacked the physical evidence needed to move forward. Then, in November 2025, a private investigator working the case identified a Jane Doe, an unidentified female found in Louisiana in 1993, whose physical description was consistent with the Milbrook twins. The match was significant enough to escalate immediately. As of early 2026, a formal DNA comparison through NamUs, the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, is currently underway. Results are expected by late 2026. If the DNA matches, it would be the first confirmed physical lead in 35 years. Danette and Jeanette Milbrook would be 52 years old. These cases go back decades, and most people have never heard of them. Drop a comment if this is your first time hearing about any of these. Let me know which one stopped you cold. Case 10. Alexis Patterson, May 3, 2002. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A 7-year-old Alexis Patterson was walked to the crosswalk near High Mount Boulevard Community School by her stepfather, Laurent Bourgeois. A crossing guard was stationed at that intersection. She watched Alexis cross the street. That crossing guard is the last adult with a confirmed independent sighting of Alexis Patterson that morning. Alexis made it across. She reached the school grounds. Classmates later told investigators they saw her on the playground, crying. She never walked through the school doors. The school did not call her mother, Ayanna Patterson, that day. Their policy only required notification after 2 consecutive days of absence. So the school said nothing on day 1. Ayanna didn't know her daughter was missing until Alexis failed to come home. By then, hours had passed. The investigation that followed exposed 2 separate failures, one in the system and one in the national media. Laurent Bourgeois became a focus of the investigation early. He had a prior criminal history, a conviction as a getaway driver. His account of that morning had inconsistencies. Specifically, his timeline around dropping his son off at a separate bus stop didn't hold up cleanly under scrutiny. He failed a polygraph examination. Investigators pressed him. He maintained his account. Laurent Bourgeois died in 2021. He was never charged. The second failure was more visible and more damning in what it revealed about whose disappearance America chooses to pay attention to. 1 month after Alexis vanished, a 14-year-old girl named Elizabeth Smart was abducted from her home in Salt Lake City, Utah. Within 1 week, Elizabeth Smart's case had generated over 400 individual news stories. In the 6 weeks following Alexis Patterson's disappearance, her case received 67. FBI resources were deployed for Elizabeth Smart within days. For Alexis, it took 3 days just to get federal involvement initiated. And even then, the level of attention was not comparable. Alexis Patterson's case became the most cited example of what researchers and journalists have since called missing white woman syndrome. The documented pattern in which missing persons cases involving white victims, particularly women and girls, received disproportionately higher media coverage and law enforcement resources than cases involving black victims. Alexis was black. Elizabeth Smart was white. The numbers speak for themselves. Ayanna Patterson has spent over 2 decades pushing for answers. In 2022 and 2023, legal action by USA Today resulted in the release of more than 10,000 pages of previously sealed Milwaukee police records related to the case. Those documents contain tips and investigative threads that had never been made public. Investigators continue to review them. May 3rd is officially recognized as Alexis Patterson Forget-Me-Not Day in the city of Milwaukee. Ayanna Patterson has never stopped believing her daughter is alive. 10 cases, 10 children, 10 families who have spent years, some of them decades, waiting for a phone call that has not come. What runs through every single one of these stories is not just the crime itself, but the failures that followed. The investigators who called runaways, the schools that waited, So the databases that erased names, the cameras that should have caught something, the media that looked away, these children were real. Their names deserve to be said out loud, remembered, and searched for, not just by the people who love them, but by anyone willing to pay attention. If you made it to the end of this video, you already know this channel is different. Every case we cover here is someone's child, someone's sibling, someone's whole world. Subscribe so you never miss a story. Leave a comment, tell me which case hit you hardest, and share this video because the more people who know these names, the better the chances that someone, somewhere, finally comes forward. These families have waited long enough.